Oh, hi everyone! Auntie Lexi here. It takes me a long time just to get this face done because beauty takes a lot of effort. But that actually got me thinking, aren't there a lot of truly beautiful RPGs out there? The kind of games where you find yourself stopping in the middle of battle just to admire how gorgeous and natural everything looks and feels. So today, I want to celebrate the most beautiful RPGs we've played, and I've curated some of my personal favorites. If you have a favorite in mind, share it in the comments below. And while we're at it, if beautiful RPGs are your vibe, hit that subscribe button so we can discover breathtaking looking games together. If we're talking about the most beautiful RPGs ever made, then a Vanillaware title has to be on the list. The only problem is that it's kind of difficult to choose just one, so I'm talking about all of them instead. Unicorn Overlord? Majestic. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim? Transcendent. Muramasa the Demon Blade? Slick. Odin Sphere Leifthrazir? Outright gorgeous. There's a few more I haven't mentioned, but you get the gist. Each of these games is a masterclass in 2D artistry, crafted with the kind of visual storytelling that imitators have tried and failed to replicate since the Flash animation boom of the early 2000s. The biggest difference is that Vanillaware's style has never aged. It's painterly yet kinetic, expressive yet composed, and always deeply tied to the tone of the world it's conjuring. Their character designs may share a signature style, elegant lines, ornate costumes, and striking silhouettes, but no two games feel the same. Whether it's the dreamlike melancholy of Odin Sphere, the feudal intensity of Muramasa, or the high-tech machinations of 13 Sentinels, every setting feels distinct, cohesive, and alive. Their color palettes are sumptuous, heightening the emotion and atmosphere of every world, drawing you deeper into each story even before a single line of dialogue is uttered. And let's not forget the range. From regal fantasy to mythic Japan, side-scrolling beat-em-ups to real-time tactics, to even branching sci-fi narratives. That's why recommending just one Vanillaware game is impossible. Thankfully, most of their catalog is available on modern PlayStation platforms. So pick your flavor and enjoy these living paintings, whether it's your first time or your fifth. The word that comes to mind when thinking about how Persona 5 looks has to be stylish. And honestly, that word covers about everything the game throws at you. The character designs, the way they move, the bold dungeon aesthetics, even the way the camera swings between scenes. But what really takes things to the next level are the menus. The UI in Persona 5 is loud, kinetic, and totally unforgettable. It's inspired by UK punk rock aesthetics, channeling the ransom note topography of scenes and protest flyers, with jagged, mismatched cutout letters that radiate a kind of controlled chaos. It's punchy, rebellious, and feels like it's trying to stick it to the man, which, interestingly enough, is a great way to describe the game. Unless we're talking about other Atlas games, I can't think of any menu that looks and feels this good. It's fast, clean, and somehow always fun to use. And if you played it, you already know. If you haven't, you're in for something special. Persona 5 Royal is available on PS4, modern Xbox platforms, Switch, and PC. Neo: The World Ends With You is pure style turned up to 11. From the moment you drop into its neon-drenched Shibuya, you're hit with a wave of color, motion, and rhythm that will relentlessly invade your senses in the best ways. Every street corner pops with saturated hues, bold outlines, and slick 2D overlays that feel like you're playing through an animated graphic novel. And then there are the pins, hundreds of them, each with its own wild design and gameplay twist. Your abilities don't just look cool, they are cool, giving combat this constantly evolving combo-heavy flair that keeps your eyes glued to the screen. And let's talk fashion. Yes, we've all joked about how Tetsuya Nomura's characters have an abundance of belts and zippers. But when it comes to The World Ends With You's, world, I'm quick to give him a pass. The designs here work, layered, expressive, and totally in sync with Shibuya's streetwear culture. That blend of real-world fashion and fantasy is part of what makes this game so unmistakable. It's loud, confident, and bursting with identity. And if that sounds like your vibe, you can play it on PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. There's no shortage of slick anime-styled RPGs these days. Tales of Arise and Scarlet Nexus come to mind. But Grand Blue Fantasy Relink still manages to carve out its own identity. It's clean, polished, and inviting, the kind of game where you might want to stop moving just to take in the view. Though you might not want to do that because of how fun the action is. That visual impact is thanks to its superb art direction. Character designs are varied and evoke their playstyles well, but it's the environments that steal the show. Running through them feels like moving through a watercolor painting, almost like an anime world dreamed up by Bob Ross, rendered with just the right amount of fantasy drama. What really brings it all together is the animation. The world always feels like it's in perpetual motion, and it's this sense of movement that lends to your experience feeling vibrant and alive. And if all of this makes you want to get lost in Grand Blue Fantasy Relink's world, you can find it on modern PlayStation platforms and PC. I vividly remember playing Final Fantasy X when it first came out and thinking to myself, this is it. Games just can't look any better than this. And while time has proven otherwise, the fact that it still holds up today says everything you need to know about how stunning this game really is. Spira isn't just another fantasy world. It's vibrant, warm, and spiritually rich. It's the only Final Fantasy with an East Asian-inspired setting, with its tropical waters, sacred temples, and reverent traditions that are unlike anything else in the series. There's a solemn beauty to Spira, where every view feels steeped in faith, memory, and a silence that says more than words ever could. And those CGI cutscenes? They still blow me away with their epicness, brilliant cinema, and unbelievable polish. If you've never played Final Fantasy X or haven't revisited it in years, the remaster is the easiest way to experience one of the series' most beautiful and emotionally resonant entries. You'll find it on PlayStation and Xbox platforms, Switch, and PC. Lunar Remastered Collection is a masterclass in how exquisite pixel art can translate its emotional weight into its visuals. Every environment, animation, and character expression is rendered with loving care, giving the game a timeless visual appeal that still holds up decades later. And while the remaster applies some light post-processing to add drama to certain scenes, it still retains the warmth and inviting tone of the originals. There's a softness to Lunar's world that few RPGs ever capture. The colors are bright without being excessive, and the overall presentation feels richer for it. The sharpened visuals enhance the experience without compromising the soul of what made these games beloved. And with its iconic anime cutscenes preserved and upscaled, it still delivers the same cinematic magic that once made PS1 owners feel like they were playing something truly special. Whether you're discovering an old favorite or experiencing Lunar for the first time, this is the best way to do it. It's available now on Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PC. The SNES is home to some legendary RPGs, but few are as revered as Chrono Trigger. Released late in the SNES's life, it felt like a swan song, pushing the 16-bit hardware to its very limit. The result is one of the most lavishly produced games of its generation. From the detailed backgrounds to the expressive sprite work inspired by Akira Toriyama's character designs, Chrono Trigger is bursting with charm. The pixel art is top-notch, even today, and the whole thing feels like a cartoon brought to life, albeit when rendered in pixels. Characters are expressive, environments are colorful and distinct,
and everything radiates a sense of adventure. What's impressive is how well the emotional beats still land. Despite the bright colors and whimsical tone, Chrono Trigger doesn't shy away from heavier moments, and they hit quite hard. That's the strength of its visual storytelling. The SNES version holds up, but Chrono Trigger is also available on Nintendo DS, PC, and mobile, if you're looking for an easier way to experience it today. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is the kind of beauty that stays with you, not because it's bright or uplifting, but because it dares to be the opposite. This is a game where death is routine, hope is rationed, and entire generations vanish with a stroke of a brush. And yet somehow, it's one of the most visually stunning RPGs in years. Set in a version of Paris shattered by catastrophe, Lumiere carries a quiet, ruined elegance. The wilds of the continent are vast and meticulously crafted, landscapes that evoke awe as humanity mourns its countdown to extinction. There's a solemn reverence to every horizon, where beauty is inseparable from decay. Even moments that offer relief, like spending intimate moments with your party or defeating a powerful boss, don't fully dispel the weight of the world it carries. Where most RPGs chase beauty through color and spectacle, Clair Obscur builds it from tone, scale, and atmosphere. It's haunting, grounded, and deeply human in a way few games attempt. And if, for some reason, you still haven't played one of the best RPGs of the year, you'll find it on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. It's also in Game Pass as of this writing.
And those are just a few of some of the most beautiful RPGs I have ever laid my eyes on. But now, I want to hear from you. What's an RPG that stopped you in your tracks with how it looked? Let me know in the comments. If you want to keep the conversation going, join us on our Discord at dsc.gg/backlogbattle. We've got a whole community celebrating everything from stunning visuals to finishing your backlog, because we consider even finishing one game a really big deal. And if you'd like to support what I do as a trans content creator and help keep these videos going, join my Patreon at patreon.com/backlogbattle. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.